Hey guys, just a quick update. I've been playing with SteamOS on my arcade system for a while now. It's been really good. I am at the point where I can highly recommend, if you have like a dedicated arcade that you want to run Steam on, just installing SteamOS on a PC. It's really good. Even games, so like Injustice, for example, look, it has the little X, so it says, hey, it's not Steam Deck compatible. But whatever those issues are more specific to like the screen, I think, and the resolution. But I'm running both of these at 4K with like medium to high settings. Again, I've got a Vega 64, so it's quite a few years old now. It was the flagship back in the day, but you know, it's been, what is it, like 5 or 6 years probably since the Vega 64 was out. The top half of my list here I've gone through. The only ones I might have to get rid of are Castlevania and Contra Collection, more because of my controller, because I can't figure out what button it takes to back out of the game. Even with my keyboard, I couldn't figure it out, so I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I had to do Alt F4 to get out, which is the shortcut for Steam to get out. But the huge contrast on this system versus Windows, performance is probably about the same as it was with my GTX 1080 running Windows, but I can do 99% of stuff just with my joystick. I rarely have to bust out the keyboard, which is really nice for if I have visitors over who, people who don't know how to mess with it. If it throws an error, every now and then Windows would pop up some random message and I have to go help, whoever my visitors are. But all these other games, let me see how far down. I'm not that far down on testing. So yeah, I'm about right in this area. Just tested, as you guys saw me when I started, Marvel vs. Capcom Collection. So I'm literally going through all 77 games I have installed. Just kind of testing controls. What's really great about Steam, and it did this in Windows too, is you can go in, you can mod the controller. So I have a profile that basically remaps the joystick to the analog. And I apply that to games that only recognize analog. So Boy and His Blob is one of those where I couldn't play it with the joystick, but all I had to do was remap the D-pad to show up as a joystick, as an analog stick, like on Xbox 360 controller. And then it does use the D-pad, this game, but it doesn't use the shoulder buttons. So these are my triggers, those are my bumpers. I need to label them. So for Boy and His Blob, it actually worked perfectly. Rec Room Masters makes a controller with even more face buttons, so you can do a lot, probably even more. As I mentioned in my previous video, I would avoid X-Arcade. I'd go with Rec Room Masters Pedestal or Arcade like that one. I was on their website. It doesn't look like they sell the 4-player keyboard mapped one anymore. So they have a bunch of 2-player variants. But I would highly recommend them. Like, man, this is pretty cool. If you especially if you're not like me and you don't have just room for, a giant room just to throw some random arcades around. And this is so good, I'm probably getting rid of my Marvel vs. Capcom Arcade 1-Up. I was just a huge fan in college of this system. I went to college late 90s, early 2000s, and this was the jam at the time. And I might keep it just because it's cool, kind of a collector thing, but to play the game, it's actually better over here because you have more space. Those arcade 1-Ups are tiny. You're right on top of each other if you're playing 2 players. So man, if you want like a home arcade and you want it to be simple for you to use it, your family, your friends to use it, I would highly recommend putting SteamOS on a PC. And you'll find that games that it even says it doesn't support, it does support. And you can pick up, some of these games are amazing. Like, where's the one? Anyway, there's one called Fighting Rage or something like that. And it's just an amazing little beat 'em up game. And it cost me like $1, you know, wait for the Steam sales to pop up and then go through all the ones that might be arcade friendly. And if they're not, you know, you wasted $1 on a game. So like Castle Crashers is a fun one. Oh, there it is, Fighting Rage, that's what it is. It's a great little side-scrolling beat 'em up. This Dungeons and Dragons game is like Golden Axe on roids. It's way better. It's really good. And I think I got it for like less than $5. So just high quality arcade games. All these beat 'em up, Guilty Gears, all the BlazBlues and Guilty Gears I got for next to nothing. You've got some Shump games, you know, Ikaruga, sorry. So just, man, like I have yet to have a game, even if it's like this, that would be arcade friendly that does not work. I had the side-scrolling Batman Arkham Blackgate, but there was too many intricacies for a joystick. That's made for a controller. So you'll find that you might be like me, you download a game and think, oh, it's a side scroller, it'll work. Nah, I took Blackgate back off because it's too intricate for a joystick and buttons. But most of these games, I mean, I'll just scroll through if you're wondering about some recommendations. So I have Metal Slug and Metal Slug X. I do own the other Metal Slugs, but they showed incompatible with Steam. But I'm wondering, I'm going to try them because, again, this little incompatibility meant nothing for me on Injustice. It runs just fine on SteamOS, just on a PC on a 4K screen. So let me scroll down. Yeah, just all these old, retro classics. I haven't tested them yet. They all have question marks, but it's a cheap gamble because there's a good chance they're going to work. Like the Sonic 4 episode 1 and 2 said it doesn't work. I'm going to download them because I've seen the 2. I think I've tested a couple games that say they don't work at all and they work just fine. So I'm just going to, and you've got a bunch of like archives like these SNK, and all the Genesis games. So Steam's getting to a point where why bother with a bunch of emulators and setting up and all the pain that it took me to do something like this Launchbox machine I have over here. And I love that. But, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, it doesn't have everything. I've got things on that like Sunset Riders and stuff that I don't know if you can get on non-emulation. But this has just been really good. I know River City Girls and Ransom Underground are going to work. They're great little beat-em-up games. Haven't tried Space Channel 5 yet. I know Soul Calibur will work. I had it on my old system and it shows Steam compatible. So yeah, Sonic Hedgehog 4 Episode 2 shows compatible, but Part 1 did not. So I'm curious to see, hey, does that work or not? Here's another one. I'm going to probably try it next. So Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. And I'm like, is that a Steam Deck issue or is that a SteamOS issue? So I'm going to give that one a shot next. Street Fighter 5. I think 6 shows incompatible. So I might wait because that one's still a fairly pricey game, but 5 works great. Streets of Rage. Even this Tron Runner, I think you might have to remap the joystick. I can't remember. But it's just a little Endless Runner Tron game. We're Tron fans. So Tembo the Badass Elephant. It's a side scroller. It's pretty fun. Of course, Turtles, My son wants me to buy the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers beat 'em up. We don't have that one yet, but I'm going to wait for it to go on sale. I wanted to show y'all my library that I downloaded because these are all really good for arcade. So before I end this video, I'm going to show you guys another nice thing. This is my B button. I'm just hitting that. It backs me all the way out and you go through your menus. Like you can navigate, it's just like a Steam Deck. You can navigate everything with the joystick and buttons, and in a pinch, like I can use the trackball, and in a big pinch, I still keep this keyboard hooked up all the time. I just set it back there if I really get in a bind and have to do the Alt F4. But otherwise, like very user-friendly, having a party in the room. We kind of use this as a party room. People want to play. They're drawn to this more. It has more recent games than some of these, older ones. The kids do love that one though, by the way. One thing I will note is I did confirm my, this is an LG OLED and it does support 4K at 120. It will not let me choose, oops, I don't know what I just did. Revert. it will not let me choose any higher. I can go 120 at one resolution down, but it won't let me go any higher on frame rate and resolution. So I don't know if it's my Vega 64 because it's old. I don't know if it could be a multitude of things. It could be SteamOS itself doesn't support 4K at 120. Someone might have the answer to that question. I'll do some research myself, but it might even be the cable, who knows, right? So for whatever reason, I don't know why the cable wouldn't at least let me pick it and then it might flicker. You know, that's might been my experience in the past. So, but yeah, you could do all kinds of adjustments here. Again, if you guys watched my last video, you know that HDR is a no-go as well. So when you turn that on, it makes the screen a very painful green, and so we don't use HDR, but it looks pretty good. And as I mentioned in the last video, the HDR experience on Windows is not that great anyway. It kind of like washes some of your games out. And now they have modes where you can swap between the two. But what I do, if it's, I just leave it on. I haven't done like power monitoring on it. I have a little power meter I might hook to this, see how much juice it's wasting just to leave it on all the time. But when I have it ready for guests, you know, I just go to installed, right? That way people can just scroll through installed and just play what I've got installed on here. And so again, I'm walking through my whole 77 game library, and sometimes it's literally firing it up, making sure the resolution's set, and backing out. So it's been super easy so far. I might come back and install some of the Steam, the ones that don't show compatible. Sorry, it's gonna be under all games. So yeah, so like Anniversary Arc, I'm gonna go ahead and install that one because I am starting to not trust what this is telling me does not work on SteamOS. And so it's specifically saying based on Steam Deck verification. So I know they're gonna start verifying SteamOS by itself. So I'm installing it, so we'll see. And I do have data sharing on here, so I don't know how much that works, where they'll know that I'm running, I got nothing to hide. They'll know if I'm running this game on SteamOS, so maybe that can help them verify more games for SteamOS, not necessarily Steam Deck. So anyway, I might do one last video on this setup to show how many games that say not working with a flat out X across it that actually do work. But again, I can't recommend enough SteamOS for a home arcade setup. Even if it is the new X-Arcade pedestal and you have to implement a little switch solution like I did, because that thing's pretty cheap, the one that's made for VR. And if it's even close to this on quality, it's a great thing. I'm irritated by the, when you power boot the system, that it has to like, you have to unplug and replug in the controller. One thing I did determine, I had two switches down here, but one goes to like the trackball and some other items. Only one switch goes to the two controllers. So I have narrowed it down at least to where I just have to flip one switch if I did a reboot or a shutdown and restart. So anyway, we'll see how these work, and I'll drop another video in a few days if anyone's interested. Thank you.